Is Draymond Green. The Morning Roast with Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky is live on YouTube and Twitch right now. Time for you to like and subscribe.
All right, Day-Day. Saw him back on the bench yesterday as he's been reinstated by the NBA after serving 12 games. He's going to use this week to ramp up. He'll get some scrimmaging in today, tomorrow, and he's now back with the team. And you know what? They need Draymond Green. They need him. They do. And we'll get to everything else and whether or not he learned his lesson. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is with Day-Day. So, he's back. Chris Paul's out 4 to 6. Andrew Wiggins is, I don't know where the hell he is. And then Moses Moody, Shasky, before we get to Will in L.A., I want you to respond. What's your thoughts on this? Moses Moody was asked what it was like to be out of the rotation. Listen to Moses Moody.
It's part of it, since I've been in the NBA. It's been just part of the journey. It's something that's, you could say, challenging to do, but, everything, depending on perspective, has a certain look to it. That's just time that you can work without the stress on your body of playing the NBA game. You can put the work in behind the scenes and make sure you're ready whenever it comes.
Daniel was asked how he thinks he can stay consistent in the rotation.
Coach, they told me that a lot of it is out of my control. They're saying even when it first happened, they said I was doing all the right stuff, playing good, but circumstances, situation, things that I can't control. So obviously taking a self-conscious route, there's obviously something you can do better always, something I could do better to control, but I feel like I've been in a good rhythm, been in a good flow all season, so I don't want to try to change things up just because the situation's changed. So just sticking to the key things that I remember during the game that keep it solid, keep it steady.
Shasky said, it's out of my control, and the coaches told him that it was out of his control. So no matter what he does, whether scoring 21 points last night in 21 minutes and 36 seconds, it's really out of his control whether or not he plays a lot. Now, he may see a lot more time now with Chris Paul out, but very intriguing answer.
So, I would love to have sat down with Dunleavy and Steve Kerr and just asked them, when you go through a roster, at least the way I view building a roster, it's each part's got to fit, and you got to have a plan for each guy, right? Whether it's a individual development plan at your work, IDPs, I don't know if you've ever heard of those, or a goal plan or a growth plan or whatever it is. Like Sharch, right? You're sitting down, you're saying, all right, how does Sharch fit? Well, I think he could be a really good scorer for the second unit. I think him and Chris Paul can really do some things together. I could see him having some overlapping minutes with Steph and Klay Thompson. But then, the season starts, and then, maybe we deviate what that plan is. What was the plan for Moody heading into the year? Where did he fit into the equation? I'm just asking out loud. So then I guess my pivot would have been why is he here then? Why'd you roll into this season with him? Now, I get that you don't just trade away players that you like or whatever, but you do have assets, and when you hang on to them for too long and you don't utilize them, you're depreciating your own assets. And I look at the Giants, and we've criticized Farhan Zaidi all the time. Why did you hang on to Joey Barton? Now he has no value. I feel like the Warriors have kind of done the same thing with Moses Moody, where we've hung on to him for so long, and I don't even know if he's any good. And that's the double whammy. You never checked him out to see if he was any good. And then now, I'm not sure how enticing he is as a staple-on, add-on piece for a trade.
He does have a controllable contract and a cheap contract, so the contract is tradable. So I do think there's some value there. How much value are we saying?
Yes.
Are you saying could you flip Moody for a guy like Siakam? And we'll get to Will in L.A. in just a second. I don't know. I don't know about that. But, and no, you see, Steve, you didn't miss the Doobie Awards. Think we'll try to squeeze in the Doobies tomorrow? Tomorrow's the day?
Tomorrow or Wednesday. I think one of those two.
Right. We got a weird start time Wednesday with the Pelicans, 5:30 start.
Yeah, why is that?
It's a national ABC game.
Oh.
National ABC game.
Look at well, the NBA trying to take over Wednesdays.
Yeah, I go figure. 5:30 at Chase Center.
Well, at least I'm not going to have to go through a paywall of Peacock.
Yeah, what? The Chiefs game's going to be on Peacock?
Yeah.
Chiefs-Dolphins is going to be on the app?
Yeah.
And not on network television?
Well, we're already using the app like Prime and things like that, and I use the YouTube
But how do you
TV
put
app at
a
times.
playoff game on an app and it's Patrick Mahomes against the Miami Dolphins?
I told you a couple years ago, I hypothesized that I think the Super Bowl will be pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I think it's coming.
Yeah, and we're all going to
in our lifetime.
We're all going to pay for it.
So it's experimental. So you're going to see Chiefs Dolphins on Peacock, and we're all going to do the same thing. What? Huh? How do I get there? And then we're all going to rush there, and
we'll get there.
We'll figure it out.
How do you not put that on CBS or Fox or NBC? Why are we apping a playoff game?
But we love the good people over at NBC, don't we, Bonta?
Oh, I love them. I love my guys at Peacock, but I would ask my guys at NBC, why don't we just put it on NBC? You know, a lot of old folks don't know how to get to the apps. Now, I tell them all the time on NBC Sports Bay Area, hey, get your application, stream us live. But it is tough. It's on the app.
So
I know that's my employer, but I mean, it's on the app.
So getting back to the Warriors here, though, for just a second, like, I just don't understand what the individual development plan was for Moses Moody at any point. At any point in the last couple of years. Rookie year, I get it. It's a wash. You're going to develop him between Santa Cruz and the big league club and play him in blowouts and things like that. Year two, okay, can we see something? And then this is where I think a lot of people were frustrated. Ty Jerome and different guys jumped them in the Kuminga as well. Anthony Lamb jumped them in the rotation. It's like, okay, you're developing guys who aren't going to be here.
Right.
Why aren't you developing the guys that you're going to keep here? And now we're in year three.
Yeah.
You didn't develop them. You depreciated their value, and now they're left without a role, and it just feels like they're on their way out the door.
You know, it is sad that Anthony Lamb had a long leash last season, and Moody couldn't get that same runway. And now Anthony Lamb's not even playing basketball in North America, right? Ty Jerome got a long leash last season. He couldn't play defense. He got cooked left and right defensively. And Moses Moody did not play. And then you get to the playoffs, and then we got Moses Moody trying to guard LeBron James in the playoff series. And I was like, damn. It's like, wow, poor kid, right? And so, do we know what type of player he is? No, we don't. We don't. He's in his third year. I do think he's been shooting the three ball fairly decently. When he's wide open, he shoots it well. Does he do anything great? I don't know. I just don't know. But it certainly feels like that Mike Dunleavy, if he does get the power to do so, would be willing to attach him to any type of deal. Now, I do think there's a team around the league who sees value in Moses Moody. But the fact that he wasn't playing and picked up 3 DMPs, for what? Because, again, I'm looking at this roster and I'm seeing a lot of redundancy. One-way players. I need two-way players. Moses Moody is closer to being a two-way player to say GP2, and I know what Gary Payton II brings to the table. But he hasn't been available because he's been hurt. So why can't Moody get playing time? Corey Joseph, at times playing before Moses Moody. Don't get it. Brendan Pajemski.
Corey Joseph yesterday was like in the mix on a 10-0 run for Toronto and had everything to do with the turnovers on the offensive end and getting destroyed on the defensive end.
It just wasn't.
I was like, it was Brad Wanamaker 2.0. Get him off the floor. Corey's probably a really nice guy. He's not good.
Yeah, it was.
What is, honest to God, Steve Kerr loves. Like, this is my final stop in the NBA. Short point guards who don't shoot and don't defend.
Yeah, I don't.
He is obsessed with them.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Brendan Pajemski goes 2 of 11 yesterday, 1 of 8 from the 3-point line. Now he does grab 8 rebounds, 4 assists, but I saw him at the end of the bench, at the end of the game, and he stayed on the bench after the game. And he's a rookie. He's got some irrational confidence, but my problem is it's okay for him to have irrational confidence. It hasn't been okay for Jonathan Kuminga to have irrational confidence. Why is that? Like, JK just wants to play. He wants to play, and he showed us flashes of brilliance. I don't know, man. This team, right now, this team's just not good enough. 17-19, 10th place team, tied with the LA Lakers. They are who they are. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if there's a deal out there, Shasky.
No, there might. I don't know if it's solvable per se, like, oh, you're going to be right back in the mix. But I would say this. If I was paying $150 million of luxury tax, not roster, luxury tax, I would say it's too lethargic for my swallowing. If I'm going to write the tax of all of this money, if I'm going to be the one paying this out, I need better effort. That's what I would say, number one. Awful. And I'm watching like just very lethargic effort at best.
I mean,
and that would frustrate the. Oh my God! I would have a hard time sitting there and not saying anything like Joe Lacob.
Oh well, Joe Lacob is now starting to say something with his actions. He was in Steve Kerr's post-game presser after Thursday's game against the Denver Nuggets. He had to sit there and watch them hang on for dear life against the Detroit Pistons.
What did you make of that? No, like what do you like? Joe
Lacob?
Like,
he's getting
been
fed
in those
up.
press conferences.
Oh yeah, he's getting fed up. So owners don't just show up to press conferences.
Have you ever seen an owner?
No, I have not.
That they weren't involved.
No, I have not.
So wow.
I have not. When Joe Lacob's hitting to the presser and he wants to hear the answers from Steve Kerr, and he's sitting there in the presser, it's not good. That's not good. He's fed up. You better believe he's fed up. And then he sits there through that first half where Toronto shoots 60%. All right? They shot 60%, folks. 10 to 21 from three. They had 23 assists, 2 turnovers, and 76 points, which is the most points the Warriors have given up in a half all season long. And R.J. Barrett scores 26 in that first half. And you score 49.
Wait, say that sentence one more time.
R.J. Barrett scored 26 points in the first half, 5 of 6 from three, 10 to 13 overall from the floor.
So his second or third best game ever?
Yeah, I mean.
Because I know he had 51 games.
I know all that Toronto staff. You know, the broadcast team, Kayla Gray was down here for TSN, and they're feeling good about themselves. Toronto, they came in here, and Jamo Malalela, maybe he had the game plan for him. Maybe he had the game plan. Maybe he knew how to stop Steph.
You love saying that name.
Jamo Malalela? It just rolls off the tongue. Let's get to Will in L.A. I did. Joe Lacob going to the presser, that can't be good. That's basically what I'm saying. Well, it's not good. I've never seen him not out here.
I mean, could you imagine Jed York pulling up to the Kyle Shanahan presser?
Exactly.
I mean, I know. I couldn't. I honest to God couldn't. That's why.
Maybe Eddie DeBartolo did, but maybe Eddie DeBartolo was in the locker room breaking TVs. Joe Lacob was in the presser.
Eddie DeBartolo would have locker room press conferences like Jerry Jones.
Right, exactly.
So,
yeah. Joe Lacob's not there yet.
God, I'd love to have Joe Lacob come into studio right now.
So, again, before we get to Will in L.A., when Kuminga was benched for the final 18 minutes last Thursday, the Nuggets raced an 18-point deficit to beat the Warriors at the buzzer. Lacob did something unusual. He came to Kerr's post-game presser. The CEO wanted to hear Kerr's responses, with reason to be particularly curious regarding Kuminga. The days since have been intriguing, with Kuminga's frustration spilling out, leading to a conversation with Kerr, resulting in increased minutes on Friday. You see Steve Kerr in the fourth quarter with Detroit's making a run. He's got his arms crossed. Go ahead, Kuminga. You're out there. Go ahead. You want to play? Play. And boy, he did not play well on Friday.
Well, the other takeaway that I think that we're not that people are afraid to bring it up, but like you're seeing slight, very small declines from Steph Curry. To me, it's not that Steph's fallen off the map or anything like that. He's being asked to do way too much, which any NBA player is going to start to show wear and tear. Mm-hmm. But also the personnel, which has not been good around him, is exposing his flaws defensively because you can't hide them like you used to the degree that you might have been able to before. And I just feel like more than ever, especially the last 3 weeks, he has been attacked over and over and over. Maybe Draymond coming back helps, stabilize some of that. But Vontae, he has been getting abused on defense.